It is clear that plant-based meat substitutes are superior to meat when it comes to the environmental impact and animal suffering. Less water, land, and energy use, less greenhouse gas emission, and no animal was bred, fed, and killed for a simple meal. But what about health? Is a processed plant-based meat substitute healthier than an unprocessed meat product? Let's find out. Why meat substitutes? Nowadays, there are countless meat substitutes on the market. More and more people opt for plant-based patties, nuggets, etc. Meat substitutes are a great way to reduce meat or eliminate it from your diet altogether. You can simply continue to enjoy the same old recipes just by shopping a bit differently. Still, meat substitutes are sometimes accused of being unhealthy because of certain ingredients or simply because they are processed, with the subtle message that the original version, made out of meat, is still the healthier option. But is it? Unprocessed meat. Proponents of meat consumption often readily agree that processed meat products are unhealthy. Bacon, ham, sausages, etc. are known to cause cancer. There is no denying that. But they are quick to declare unprocessed meat products, for example from grass-fed cows, to be totally different. But they are not. Even unprocessed red meat is a probable human carcinogen. Imagine the perfect piece of meat. It still has hormones, cholesterol, trans fats, saturated fats, and many other harmful compounds. Regular meat products may contain injected growth hormones, antibiotics, pesticide residues, and other environmental toxins that accumulated up the food chain. Meat versus substitutes. Let's compare meat and meat substitutes. A regular beef patty and the Impossible and Beyond burgers. For a 113-gram patty each, we can find 1.5 grams of trans fats in the beef burger. Trans fats are a serious risk factor for cardiovascular disease, cancer, and type 2 diabetes, and they are linked to lower testosterone in men. We find 80 milligrams of cholesterol, 8 grams of saturated fat, 230 milligrams of sodium, hormones, and 0 fiber in the beef patty. The Impossible and Beyond burgers contain no trans fats, a similar amount of saturated fat, 50% more sodium, no cholesterol, no hormones, and a small amount of fiber. We can see that meat substitutes are better in various categories, but some, like the two presented here, are rightly criticized for their high saturated fat and sodium content. Healthier substitutes. We have seen that meat substitutes do great in various categories, but may contain too much saturated fat and sodium. There are many meat substitutes available that are low in saturated fat and sodium. Quorn, for example, made from mycoprotein from the mushroom kingdom, has 0.5 grams of saturated fat and 50 milligrams of sodium in 110 grams. There are many other healthy options made from soy, beans, peas, etc. Just make sure they contain less than 3 grams of saturated fat and less than 150 milligrams of sodium in 100 grams. Reduced cancer risk. So, which health benefits can we expect when we cut out all meat products for healthier plant-based alternatives? First of all, you reduce your cancer risk as you remove a potential human carcinogen from your diet, especially your risk for colon and breast cancer, which are among the deadliest types of cancer. Studies have shown that meat intake is associated with an earlier onset of puberty, whereas the intake of meat substitutes is associated with a later onset of puberty. The earlier puberty starts, the higher the breast cancer risk later in life. Colon cancer affects millions of people every year. If you plan to live a long and healthy life, minimizing your colon cancer risk is very important. The average age at the time of diagnosis is around 70 years. Heart disease risk. Reducing trans fats, saturated fats, and cholesterol, and going for more plant protein instead, will drop your LDL cholesterol. In a study comparing the effects of quorn versus meat on cholesterol, the study group eating quorn dropped their total cholesterol by more than 30 mg per deciliter, and their bad LDL cholesterol by about 30 mg per deciliter. An improvement in blood pressure is also often observed when cutting out meat. These benefits will reduce your risk for heart disease, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases significantly. Type 2 diabetes. It might come as a surprise for you, but meat is a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes. The branched-chain amino acids found in animal protein, but much less in plant protein, are associated with type 2 diabetes and worse metabolic health. Animal protein spikes insulin about as much as pure sugar, and eating animal protein alongside carbohydrate-rich foods, like rice, significantly increases the serum insulin spike. In a study, those eating rice and chicken ate 18% more calories at the subsequent meal compared to those eating rice and quorn. Additionally, the insulin excretion of rice and quorn was 41% smaller than that of rice and chicken. Final verdict. All meat substitutes are superior to meat in various health categories. If healthier substitutes with low amounts of saturated fat and sodium are chosen, substitutes beat meat in practically every important health category. We still want to point out that meat substitutes are not perfect. They are still quite high in calorie density, and due to processing, they are inferior to the whole plant foods they are made of. You should use meat substitutes as a first step towards eating an overall healthier plant-based dietary pattern. They are something to enjoy now and then, and should not become a part of your daily diet. Thanks for watching our video. Please subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming video. See you next week!